Welcome to your favorite Tennessee Titans podcast, Tennessee Titans Weekly. Jacques. What's up, man? What's going on, folks, ladies and gentlemen? As you all know, the Tennessee Titans, with an unbelievable loss against the Indianapolis Colts yesterday evening, man, one of the weirdest games that I've ever seen, man. It was the way the game played out, again, 31-28. With the Colts, man. Jacques, tough loss, dude. Tough loss.
Yeah, most definitely. Usually when we play the Colts, it's always something weird that happens. And it tends to happen always when they play us at home. Like I said, a couple of years ago, man, fire on the field that happened. Some just clunky things just happens, right? So it's weird. It's real weird. But yeah, man, it's hard-fought loss. I think this is the hardest that I think they fought in a while. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Facts, no paper, man. So looking at this game, Jacques, man, you were there at the game. They're live, 100%, season ticket holder, that boy Jacques in the building. So looking at this game, man, give us a big reason why we lost to the Indianapolis Colts.
I'll say special teams, to be honest with you.
Okay.
When you have I'm gonna give you like two reasons really, but special teams I think is the biggest reason. Missed field goal, you can't have that, and 2 block points, and it puts them in plus territory to where they're in their red zone. Now, I think they were in the red zone about 4 or 5 times, correct me if I'm wrong, but they really couldn't get any points out of it either. Shout out to the defense. But when I look at the main reason, the special teams. I mean, because if we would have kicked that field goal, we probably would have had a chance to win, right?
Yeah.
And so that's one reason. A second reason, again, blowing your opportunities at the wrong time. The Titans continue to shoot themselves in the foot in the most inadequate times of just throughout this season this happened. And this game is just real weird, man. Just real clunky, all over the place. It just the weirdness behind it. So special teams was the biggest reason. And then 2, you shoot yourselves in the foot. I'm going to be honest about the Colts, man. Yeah, I know you got Colts fans in here, but the Colts are not world beaters, right?
Yep.
And you guys have issues as well. You don't get in the red zone about 4 or 5 times and not score touchdowns, right? So, again, we had an opportunity. We squandered it. On to the next. What about you all?
Yeah, Jacques, facts, no paper, man. And shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Throw your chats out there. Later on, we absolutely will bring those up. So, of course, special teams is absolutely the main reason, and we have that question out there as well. 79% of you feel the special teams was the problem. I'm going to add to that, Jacques. I'm going to say it's our defensive secondary, man. I really think that, overall, when you have 2 receivers in Michael Pittman and also, you look at Alex Pierce, they both had over 100 yards receiving, right? 205 yards from 2 receivers. So, and one of them, Alex Pierce, 33 yards catch, and both of them scored a touchdown with Pittman with the final touchdown at the end of the game. So I look at our secondary, man. Our secondary struggled overall, man. They allowed Gardner Minshew, especially in the second half, to look like Peyton Manning. I'm like, are we playing Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck? No, it's Gardner Minshew. And the secondary really gave up at the second half of the game. And, looking at it as well, too, we made the Colts look a lot better than they are on offense. Now, give a shout out to the defense on stopping the run, because that was the problem that we had in the first game that we played them against Zach Moss. Zach Moss was stopped immediately. But, could it be coaching? Could that be a part of it from a secondary standpoint? I do think that's a part of it as well. But our defensive secondary did not come to play. Our corner struggled, and then you had Trey Avery against Michael Pittman at the end of the game. That's unacceptable. Trey Avery can't even guard me today, right? And so I think that's really one of the biggest reasons why we lost this game against the so-so Indianapolis Colts, who is in the playoffs right now. But that's why I think we lost this game, man, for sure. Yep.
My bad, I was on mute. No. Great points. And again, like you said, man, I know we got Colts fans in here. It's okay, but I just don't think you guys are that good. But whatever, right? We ain't gonna go there. So,
yes,
a couple things. What are your thoughts on Will Levis yelling at D-Hop? Now, that was a situation on the sideline where he kind of chewed into D-Hop.
Yep.
And do you think it ensues leadership skills? And I'll talk about mine in a minute. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So here's my thoughts. I know folks are going to look at it being appropriate, and the votes are already coming in now. This is my thoughts. I don't have a problem with you being fiery. I think that's a good thing. It does show leadership quality that you want to win. And I see that out of Will Levis. I've seen that since day one, really. And the more he's playing, the more he gets to that point. But what I would challenge the notion is when receivers do it, like A.J. Brown, even like Terrell Owens, like guys that, that show that type of display publicly on the field, it gets looked down upon. It does. And so I don't have a problem with Will Levis doing it. But let's just be consistent across the board to say if a player feels a certain way, they want to help to win. Even say A.J. Brown now, even with the Eagles, when him and Jalen Hurts gets into it, the notion is he's being a prima donna, he's not being a team player, things like that. So let's be consistent across the board here. If you're going to do that, that's fine, but take that to the locker room. It's like a family thing. And sometimes you can't help it but be passionate and things like that. But what it does now, it creates a narrative like, can he be emotionally there, with his team? Will he crack and things like that or whatever? Now, D-Hop did play better as a result of that. I do think that. I know I see that. But I would personally say, hey, D-Hop, let's talk about this at halftime. Let's talk about this in the locker room or whatever like that and look at it in that way. So that's how I look at it. Let's be consistent. I love the fire. I love the fact he wants to win. I'm not taking that from him. But I'm just saying be consistent across the board. That's just my thought. What about you, Jacques?
I agree 100%. That is facts, no paper, Hawk. I mean, like you said, consistency, because we pick and choose what leaders can do that, right?
Yep.
And I heard a lot of people liking that. Now, leadership styles, right? Hawk, you've been a leader. I've been a leader. Some people can respond in a different way, right? By you, quote unquote, yelling at them and doing all that. But we have never seen Mike Vrabel really chewing to his players while he's on the sideline. Right?
Yep.
Now, Vrabel likes it, whatever. Boom. We've seen it happen with Peyton Manning from time to time. But Will Levis, you're not Peyton Manning. You're not Tom Brady. You still have to get the respect that it's a respect factor, if that makes sense, right? And I've seen him. I've watched a lot of Kentucky film. I've seen things in Kentucky, and I'm like, okay, this is what I've expected. Will is a fiery dude, right? He's a dude that plays with passion. He's a dude that plays pretty solid, right? As a rookie, it feels good, right? It's like, well, I'm yelling at this player. I'm telling him what to do. He's a vet. Well, that boy, that man just broke. He's part of an elite league, 12,000 yards.
Facts.
Okay? He's been here. He's been around the block. He's done it before. So I think just sitting there and in that moment doing that, I'm like, I get what you were trying to do, Will, but in that moment, I wouldn't have did that, right? I would, like you said, we would have chopped it up in a way. Hey, instead of doing this, let's doing this. Tannehill don't even do that. Now I know, like some people like that particular leadership style,
right?
But like you said, if we're going to do it, make it consistent, right?
Yep.
Make sure he's conducive and he's doing it right. And so it is what it is. Now, again, it's a two-part question. Hawk, do you think he would be a good leader for the future? Do you think he ensues that what we call, me and my partner, he has a nonprofit called Big Leadership Energy, man. Does he assume that big leadership energy?
I do think so. I do think so, Jacques. I do think so. And we need a leader that has some passion to him. You know what I mean? And so I do think Will Levis could be a great leader. I do see, in the poll as well, most of you think that as well. And because the fact, again, Will Levis has talent. He makes throws that most quarterbacks can't make. And you can see him progressing and things. He has opportunities to get better, things of that nature for sure. But you want your leader to be the quarterback. And I do think he has that ability for sure. Even in the draft, they talk about it, say in Kentucky like that he displayed those type of things. And so I think Will Levis gets a lot of respect. Will Levis is a jack dude. He ain't just some little scrawny cornerback. Like you can tell maybe like up here, like he means that. If you look at the play where he got hit and turned around, he got up and did first down, or the fact that he made the tackle after the interception and got the fumble, you can tell in his mind, I'm a leader. I want to win. I love that about Will Levis. You know what I'm saying? Again, just put that more towards look, D-Hop, man. Hey, bro, let's chop it up, bro. We can yell at each other. It's cool. Let's not do it in public. So do you think Will Levis could be a great leader for this team?
Eventually, yes, I do. But I would say this, being a leader also, the people that you're leading have to respect you, right? and I look at body language, I look at this. Do they respect him? Now, they can say that, yeah, we love Will, da-da-da-da. But not only are you buying into leadership from Mike Vrabel, but you're buying in leadership from Will Levis, right?
That's right.
And it's very interesting when we have these conversations because we're not in the locker room. We're just fans, right? We're just sitting here just looking. But to have a conversation with a player, and we've played, you understand, right? Yep. Some leaders by default you have to follow. Like, okay, you're the leader, I'm gonna have to follow you. Might not like it, might not like your leadership style, but I'm gonna ride with you as much as I can, right? So yes, he will eventually exude, and again, shout out to my boy Aaron, nonprofit, big leadership energy. We call it big leadership energy. Will he have that big leadership energy? Yeah, eventually he will, right? He just has to hone it in, and don't be surprised if he gets humbled in the way too, because if AJ Brown was on his team, he would challenge. He would play hard for Will, but also he will challenge Will. He would bark back, because I noticed D-Hop didn't really, he barked back, but D-Hop is a mellow dude. He's like, okay, cool, I'll do what you tell me to do. But we don't, you have the right person to have that energy. Now you have to match that energy. And I feel like Will's energy is up here. The rest of the team's energy is right here. Yeah. And I'm like, why are you guys not up here with him energy-wise? Right. Even yesterday watching the play when he spun up in the air, his energy was up here. But I feel like the team's energy, and not knocking anything with the team, I think the team is too mellow. And I'm like, you need to get players in here. And like you said, they call them divas. You need to get players in here to match that energy. And if we don't have that, we're just going to waste this time. You can have leadership energy all day.
That's right.
But if you can't have nobody match it, then that's what happens. So
that's right, John. And I would be interested to see if Will Levis threw 2 or 3 interceptions and D-Hop chirped at him. I wonder what that conversation would look like then too. Because when you do that, when you're a leader, you put yourself out there. You also put yourself out there for criticism. So that's kind of where you want to try to keep it as much as you can. But we'll see, man. We'll see. So, Doc. So looking at this, man, I got to show you this, bro. And this is for everybody in the chat as well. We're going to get to the chat in just a second as well. So the 2024 NFL draft slots right now, as of today, right now at 10:45 Central Standard Time, the Tennessee Titans are in the 8th spot for the draft. So I got a question for you, Jacques. Mm-hmm. Right now, should we throw the white flag, bro? Just say, you know what, forget it, man. If we lose every game, it is what it is, and focus on trying to get in the top 5, maybe top 3 of the NFL draft. And again, you look at the records, right? And you look overall, the Titans are 4-8. There are 3 teams ahead of them at 4-8, and then the Commanders are 4-9. So we're right there in the mix. So what should we do, Jacques?
To be honest with you, I have been kind of checked out from the season from the beginning anyway, because I already know what was going to happen. You kind of have a feeling. And the schedule, just looking at the remaining schedule, it's not going to be easy. The only thing I want them to do, they can lose out, but just compete. That's the only thing I want you to do. Just compete. Compete. If you can compete, I'm cool with that. But to answer your question, man, just lose out. Because if we win, the problem with that happens, we go in that middle tier of draft eligibility where we're picking 12, 15, 16. You get value there, but you don't. I feel like the Titans kind of fail when they're in that particular draft capital stat or draft position. Top 5, we haven't had a top 5 pick in a long time, man. And with the money that we got and the trust that I have in Rand Carthon, which I do have trust in him, I think he'll pick the right position, the right player, the right person for this team. So yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Just throw the white flag in and just play for and the pick. Bro. That's me. What about you, Rob?
Okay.
And I don't want to think like that.
I understand.
I like to compete. But go ahead. What you think, Doc?
So for me, man, I'm gonna say this, y'all. I understand the tank part. I do. And we got the chat question out there as well, plans for the rest of the season. We kind of split between tanking and also playing hard in every game to win. So knowing Mike Vrabel doesn't know how to tank purposefully. You know what I'm saying? He's been tanking over the last 18 games just in general with all of his players. So for me, Jacques, I'm saying, look, man, Jeffrey Simmons, shut it down for the rest of the year, dog. Derrick Henry, shut it down for the rest of the year, dog. I'm looking at players like, hey, man, we're not going to the playoffs. We only had like a 1% to 2% opportunity if we do up to the Colts game. Now, if we'd have won, it would have increased us to about a 20% chance of making the playoffs. Because we've lost, we're not winning and going to the playoffs. We're already 0-3 in the AFC South. I personally think we should shut it down for all the key players. Get your young guys out there, man. See what they can do, man. Get them some more, get Jalen Duncan. Keep them out there at left tackle. Get those young guys some experience of trying to get better. and things like that. Does that mean we're going to win any more games? No. So tanking is probably in that ingredient, right? But at least you get young guys out there and you have your older guys that are there to stay healthy, or even if you want to trade them in a way, keep them as healthy as you can before the trade, before trades come to play. Christian Fulton, shut him down for the rest of the season. Stonehouse is already going to be done for the season, probably, based on the injury. I don't know the specifics, but I would personally shut down all your key players, man. I would, dude. I would shut them down. I'd shut them down.
I agree 100%.
Yeah, man.
Shut them down, dog. Shut them down.
Yeah. So we're going to go to Twitter real quick, Jacques, man. We're going to look at some Twitter comments, and then we're going to get in our favorite part of the show, man. So let's see what we got on Twitter, Jacques. I'm looking now. Let's see what we got, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat as well. Let's see here what we got. Let's see here. All right, so look here. So we got someone that says the Titans wanted to clean up special teams issues. Instead, they swept it under the rug. I think that's very true. I think that special teams did terrible this game. How do you have 2 blocked punts back to back? That hasn't happened in like 7 years, man. And so, you're speaking on Will Levis, he had to play the 17-game pace at 3,500. Has anyone called Brett Kern? Man, Brett Kern is chilling somewhere, man, with his feet up in the air eating hoagie sandwiches, man. So,
hey, shit.
So it seems like on Twitter right now, man, there's a lot of talk about special teams. I get that. I do see that. So yeah. So Jacques, let's get to our favorite part of the show, man. Hey, those in the chat, man, hey, throw your questions out there, man. We're gonna do our live chop up. This is an opportunity for you all to throw questions out to us. We're gonna fire off and answer those questions, man. Hey, keep us moving, man. We're gonna keep it grooving, man. So let's see what we got, Jacques.
So somebody says, I'm pretty sure he's talking about Will Levis, because there is some people that are sold on Will Levis. There are still people out there that the judgment is out, right?
Yep.
And I'm in the middle. So I seen some comments. Somebody said they're not sold on Will Levis. You know what I mean? And it's interesting take. Let's see. Somebody said it's a cold take because when we pick in a high draft pick, we fail. But you got to remember. And I see, is it ASAP Sandman? Got to remember, that's from John Robinson. That's not from Rand Carthon, right? Mm-hmm. So we haven't seen what Rand Carthon can do with a top 5, top 3, top 10 pick, right? Peter Skoronski right now, we picked at 11 last year.
11, yeah.
And what he's been able to do, people might be looking at the offensive line as being trash, but Peter Skoronski, in my opinion, has fared very well. So you have a nice guard going into your future. So when I look at that comment, I'm like, okay, but you got to look at it in a way where we have a new sheriff in town. That sheriff didn't know how to draft. I know Hawk, you've iterated plenty of times about the draft, but boom. So, yep. BK Effort 1 through 5 says, if we tank, who do we go after in the draft? Hawk, have you been really doing your homework and study on any draft picks? Who do you think we should go after if we're in a top 5 pick?
So I'm looking at, I know the sexy pick would not to be an offensive lineman. I understand that. And I have to look at where we are right now at 10 and 8. So, if we move up to top 5, I think whether it be 5 or 8, I think we got to get the best offensive lineman available, whether it be Alt from Notre Dame or Ovufanu from Penn State. Those have been the ones that people keep talking about. Again, it's a long process. There's going to be other tackles, I'm sure, that'll jump up based on when you look at the combine, when you look at private workouts, players do sort of jump up. So, but for right now, those are the 2 guys that, people talk about a lot. Those are very good draft picks. So I'm looking at O-line right now. If I'm picking 8 or 10 or 8 or 5 even, I would love to get a receiver, but I think offensive line for right now. We need help. We need O-line help for sure. What about you, Jacques?
Again, I said on my last show, man, O-line. Go with the safest pick, and just hope that the receivers that you do get can produce. And again, even though we have Will, and again, to me, it's too early to say he's going to be this world beater. He's good, but in the same breath, when people get tape on you, they understand you. Like it's a unique thing. But to answer the question, O-line for sure. Go O-line. Hopefully, you can get a decent receiver in the 2nd or 3rd round. And just again, for me, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, man. 2 years. I'm not even expecting anything next year. I'm expecting to be okay, but year 3, I'm expecting for the Titans to kind of start to take off from a period of a question mark saying how we do this offseason. If we do pretty decent this offseason, then I can see us trending up. If we still in the same rut, we ain't going nowhere, bro. Just be 100 with you.
Facts, no paper.
And again, I'm if you got any Colts fans in here, y'all gonna run into a world beater soon. Just keep your head on a swivel. Y'all guys okay, but to me, you're let me say this about the Colts. They're trending up as well. The AFC South is trending up. I'll say that.
Man, tell me about it.
Yeah, you got some trendy things happening in the AFC South.
That's
in the next 2 or 3 years, this division will probably be like, I would say the AFC East, but I'm trying to get or the Cowboys division, the NFC East. Yeah. That division is off the chain, dog. Like it's by side. Well, the Eagles and the Cowboys. Yeah. The what's kind of they trash, but we'll eventually get back to that.
That's right. And 2 of the 2 teams are in the playoffs right now. The Colts and the Jags. Texans are right on the outside looking in right now. So hey, that's unbelievable. The AFC South has been bad for so long. So eventually those players got to evolve when you draft that high, man. So,
and what's crazy? The Colts I think 2 games out from the number 1 seed. So that's another ironic thing. It's like, okay. And I hope they give them the same smoke that they gave us that year. We were the number 1 seed, talking about we were the worst number 1 seed ever in history.
Yeah.
Give the same smoke to whoever gets that. If it's not the Chiefs, the Chiefs. I mean, the Chiefs lost last night too. So Pipe says draft star wide receiver and spend money on the O-line. The problem with spending money on the O-line is not a lot of good offensive linemen coming out free agency. Even with receivers, if you look at the receiver free agent list, and Hawk, I sent it to you. T. Higgins is about the best thing that you're probably gonna get out of there, right? Right. But Mike Evans, I mean, I like Mike Evans. He'll add to it, but we need somebody young and we need speed. In my opinion, we need speed, dog. And right now, man, we just don't have speed.
Yeah. Well, if we drafted a star receiver, again, it depends on where we draft. I don't think we're going top 3. I don't think we're that bad. Of course, top 3, that would be Marvin Harrison. If he's available, you draft him. But that's not going to be there. So I don't, you got other guys, Rome Odunze from Washington. You got Keon Coleman from Florida State. You got receivers out there. But, you just never know. I would prefer to get an offensive tackle over a wide receiver. The only receivers you get is those guys like, okay, he's going to be an automatic Pro Bowler. The Calvin Johnsons, even the Jamar Chases, the Randy Mosses, guys like that, man. So, Yep. So, great questions, by the way, y'all. Great questions. Keep throwing them questions out there for sure.
I would like, if not, I like Joe out. I do. In Notre Dame, he's pretty solid too. And shout out to Titans fans for sure. Let's see.
Shout out to my friend, by the way, Alpha File.
Happy Founders Day, bro.
We got a few folks in the comments with the shout out. Appreciate it.
Let's see. Somebody said it the best. I saw him, but he's showing what rookie should. Yeah. Yep. Again, when I'm hindsight 2020, I would have took CJ Stroud. Where all neighbors go in the draft? All neighbors, NABER, neighbors.
Malik Neighbors, man, is unbelievable. Malik Neighbors is a first-round pick at wide receiver. He's a beast. LSU's got a few guys that are like that, but Malik Neighbors is right. Marvin Harrison is the top, no question about that. But Neighbors is maybe number 2. I would expect Malik Neighbors to be available for us at 8 if we're there. Malik Neighbors can be a top 15 pick. He will be there for us if we wanted to. Now, he's not a real big guy, about 6 foot, about 195 pounds, but this guy's a beast, man. So I still would draft a lineman, y'all. Sorry. Yep.
We'll take one more question, guys, and we'll get up out of here. Somebody said draft the offensive coordinator. I like that. Almost there, man. We see your questions, man. We at least try to answer them, man. That's what we do, man.
That's right.
We respect everybody's opinions, man. If it's good, bad, ugly, we don't care. We gonna chop it up, as we say, and we do. So
That's right. Great questions, by the way, man. Great questions. So, yep. So,
you want to take us out, brother?
Yeah, man, for sure, man, for sure. So the show will also air on YouTube as well. So those that's watching on YouTube, know again, this is on Bleacher Report. So just know that as well too. But again, we appreciate everybody in the comment section, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we continue to get followers as well, man. Hey, continue to support the show. We love the Titans. We're both born and raised in Nashville, man. This is what we do, bro. The Titans stay literally right down the street from me right now. But again, if you want to check us out on YouTube at Tennessee Titans Weekly. You can check us out on Twitter at Titans Weekly 24/7. You can follow us here on Bleacher Report. For me, it's at Lorenzo_the Hawk. And then we have Jacques at Jacques Merrill. Hey, follow us, man. We're going to be here, man. We're going to be here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And again, like you said, we appreciate Bleacher Report for giving us this opportunity. Thank you guys for watching, and guys and ladies for watching the show. And let's get to Monday Night Football, man, and let's see what we can do with the Dolphins.
That's right. And I will be at the game in Miami. I will be there. So, yeah, man. So, well, folks, we hope you have a great rest of your day, great rest of your week. We'll see you in a few days. Hey, man, as we always do, and as we always say, Jacques, facts.
No paper.